I'll take you back to a time, it was about 2015. I was actually on duty, so I was wearing that uniform with that belt on. And so I had a best friend, he was a civilian. His name was Caleb. And Caleb and I lived together. Okay, we had a house, it was a nice place. I lived in Hawaii, I was stationed out there, and we had a nice place together. My wife, me, Caleb, his wife, we shared one house. We did everything together. We partied together, we hung out together, we used to dream together, build together. We were doing all types of stuff together. We were best friends. And I'll tell you something. We loved racing cars. Like, it was like, that was my thing because I told you I grew up poor, right? And so when I joined the Marine Corps and I started getting that first and 15th paycheck, I started realizing I can start affording things now. So I'm gonna get myself a nice little car. And I got addicted to building cars because I loved the fact that I could take a car that was like complete trash and turn it into something that was awesome. And it was mine. It was like a person, right? It had a personality to it. So we started to race cars and build cars and do this type of thing. And what we would do on our weekends, I wasn't one kid to go out and drink and do a lot of stuff like that. What I did was I built my car during the week, and then on Saturday night, we went out to the races. And what we would do is street race illegally. That was just the thing. And I was a Marine, breaking the law every single weekend. And so one day I had to go to duty, and it's a 24-hour post. When you have duty, it's 24 hours long. It sucks. Just gonna warn you now. Okay? Don't complain about it. Gunny doesn't warn you. It's horrible. All right? And so one night I have duty, and so I'm getting ready to go to work, and he's like, yo, bro, I just got a brand new Honda Civic EK hatchback, finished building it up. Let's go out, bro. Let me show you what this thing can do. I'm like, listen, bro, I would love to, but unfortunately, I got work tonight. So I shoot my way over to my job, go to duty. I'm standing duty at the barracks, and he's just going out, hanging out with his friends. It's about 9 p.m. where I'm on duty, and I get a call from an individual named Kaylin. And Kaylin calls me. He was another friend of mine. And he says, hey, listen, Max, you got to get over to Queens Medical Center right now because we just got, Caleb just got in a horrible car accident. Like, you got to get there ASAP. I find a first Lance Corporal that walks past me. I put him on duty all of a sudden. Hey, we're changing over, right? Quitting my post, I'm properly relieved. Go ahead and throw in your camis. I shot down in the medical center, and I beat the hospital. I beat Caleb to the hospital. He comes in through the crash car. Ambulance comes in. Arms are ripped off, shreds. Legs hanging by threads on the crash car. I'm telling you, it was graphic. Turns out he was in a car with my best friend John. So it was John and it was Caleb. Caleb was the passenger, John was the driver. And they're racing down the road in this Honda at night, lights off, blaring down the street. Car didn't see them. Turned a left turn, hit the back of the car, spun out, wrapped around a tree. Engines landed on him. Car looks like a ball of tinfoil. Surprisingly enough, John actually was in pretty good shape. I mean, his face was completely smashed in. I mean, when I say good shape, I mean, it was like he's definitely going to live, where he was going to be disfigured for the rest of his life. That was the situation we're in, where that was the better of two evils. Where Caleb barely had arms and legs anymore. The engine crushed his sternum, destroying his chest, his pelvis, spading his body. And so the doctors and nurses, there were so many of them, that they actually had me and Caleb's dad go into the hospital room, in the emergency room, and we had to help pump the bag because the machine, the ventilator, was not pumping strong enough. So we had to manually do it, but there weren't enough hands to stop the bleeding and to start the breathing and to treat for shock. And so we're in the medical center pumping air, and he was a big dude. He's about 260 pounds. We had to keep rolling him over, and he had to keep spitting out this vial. And he was like out of his mind. He was not conscious. Like he was, but he wasn't. And he's throwing up this yellow bile that's building up in his lungs. Long story short, that went on for hours. And Caleb, for the next month and a half, was in a coma. During that time he was in a coma, he dealt with liver failure, kidney failure, heart failure. You name it, every portion of his body failed. Every single thing on his body failed. But after about a month and a half, he actually woke up from a coma. Now, let me hit you with a plot twist. Funny thing is, his wife was actually pregnant at the time of the accident. And we all lived together, like I told you. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and she tells me, Max, my water broke. I had to drive her to the hospital. So she's giving birth to his daughter on the floor right beneath him, and he's up here fighting for his life. About a month later, the baby comes out the NICU. Caleb had already woken up from a coma, and he was able to hold his baby daughter for the first time. Barely conscious, but he was awake. And everyone was like, man, Caleb's going to survive. This is great. But he had this problem because I told you his arms and legs were so badly damaged. He kept getting these infections. And these infections were so serious that they gave him every antibiotic that exists known to man. I want you to think about being a parent and having your kid have an infection that's so aggressive, so dangerous, so violent that there's not an antibiotic that exists that can solve it. So the doctor gives the dad an ultimatum. He says, look, we can keep trying to hit him with more antibiotics, but there's no guarantee it's going to work. Or we can cut his legs off clean at the hips, and that might stop the infection. Dad doesn't hesitate. Says, take the legs. So they cut his legs off. Boom. And I'm telling you, legs get cut off fast. Like when it's an emergency, doctors will take care of that in like 10 minutes. It was fast. But the unfortunate part is it didn't stop the infection. Literally within 2 hours, Caleb died. And that was after 2 months of a battle from all of one choice. But here's the crazy part. It doesn't stop there. See, Caleb's dad was so messed up. I mean, think about it. The loss of a child, and it wasn't even his fault. He wasn't even driving the car. John was. And Caleb's dad was no dude to mess with. This was the #1 guy in Hawaii. I'm talking, this dude he was in charge of the plumbing, the electrical, the termites. Like, this dude had multiple companies, the biggest nightclub in Hawaii. But the crazy part is he was actually a mafia boss. He ran the Hawaiian mafia. I'm not even joking. And so what he did was he actually had John, the driver of the car, secretly murdered and killed him. And no one ever saw John again. And then the FBI began to investigate and eventually uncovered this entire ring. And then he went to prison. And then Caleb's dad was killed in prison. How crazy is that story? But it's 100% true. And the craziest part about it is, had I not had duty that night, I would have been in the back of that car. For sure. And that one choice that Caleb made changed not only the direction of his life by ending it, but it also killed 2 other people. Secondary and tertiary decisions from one decision.